This is not a podcast.
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 This is not a podcast, but it's a broadcast on IG and YouTube to make y'all laugh. To make y'all laugh.
And some real life shit.
To make y'all laugh.
Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Holly Bugs.
Here, it's your boy Watts.
It's your boy Grizzly Green.
And this is not a podcast.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
And today our special guest in the house, JnSilva in the house. What's good,
The
man?
photography legend.
Come on,
Around
world
the way. Let's
renowned.
go.
World
Legend,
renowned, man.
Hell yeah.
Legend.
What's going on, Silva, man? How we doing today, man? How you doing?
It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. I'm grateful to be here. Thank you
Of
for
course,
the
of
invite.
course,
we go
man.
way back,
go,
man.
let's
It's
go.
High school shit, man.
high school shit.
Facts.
Let's go.
Yo, and to see what he does,
It's
you know,
amazing.
traveling and being everywhere and shooting this artist and being at this concert and him being the one responsible for some of the photos that we see. That's crazy.
Absolutely, man.
It's amazing.
It's proud. I'd be proud to be like.
Me too.
I know that guy.
Yeah,
I
I
know
know.
that guy. I know that guy. No, I really know. Like I got.
That's love, man. Thank you.
For
Thank you.
sure. So, we like to open up the show usually with for the viewers that are not familiar with you, whatever. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit. What do you do and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is JnSilva. I was born and raised in Venezuela.
Let's
Moved
go.
to West New York. Shout out West New York. When I was 11, went to Memorial High School.
Let's go. Let's go, Tigers.
Shout out Tigers.
Yeah.
And yeah, from then on, I went to college, and around high school, I picked up a camera. And I originally picked it up just because I was like super shy and introverted, and it was like a way for me to like be at places
Places and
without
not be
really,
there. Yeah,
you know,
right.
just like capturing the stuff, you know.
Right.
And once I got to college, I realized that like, documenting was like an important experience for everyone. And that's when social media started to come out. So I was like shooting all these parties. I wasn't like a party person, but this gave me an excuse to be at the party.
Gotcha.
You know?
Yeah.
And then like Facebook came out, and once they dropped like the album section that you could share photos, I was like the guy uploading all of the crazy frat party photos.
Nice.
And then I became like the cool guy because I was like documenting all this stuff, and I was like, oh shit.
Yo, we need Silva to come through.
Yeah.
Bring that camera.
Yeah, for
Yo,
real.
because at that time, not everyone had a camera.
Right.
Nah.
Camera phones.
It wasn't.
Like that.
It wasn't. Yeah. It was
Right,
true.
We had like the disposable.
If we would have, like, it's like us getting on YouTube young, like,
Yeah.
if we would have stood to it, it would have been, you know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
we didn't know about that world,
Right.
yo.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
he
saying?
was up on it. He was
How
up
ready?
in the forefront of it.
Ready.
It was
Hell
different
yeah.
era, man, and I got lucky because dating ourselves, but like that at Facebook at first was open to like 7 schools,
Right.
and Rutgers was one of the schools that it was open to, so I had like Facebook like right away.
Instantly.
Yeah,
so
so I got
Yeah,
on
because it was
there.
only for college.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a college at first.
Yeah, so I started there, and then like MySpace was out, and then
Shout out to MySpace.
Yo.
Top 8, baby.
Yo.
Top 8. He was cool.
What
as
up,
hell, bro.
yo? They back. I think they back. MySpace is back. Yeah.
We coming back?
Nah, I don't know.
And the
I don't know if
sidekicks.
that cool
And the
yet.
sidekicks. Bring back the sidekicks.
Supposedly,
Man.
supposedly, the sidekicks are coming back.
Yeah, bring
So
back
I
the
heard.
sidekicks.
everything
No,
is cyclical, man. Everything comes back.
That's what I heard.
And I was a nerd, so I was like, coding my MySpace page and all that stuff. And again, like photography was my way of being cool. I was like, I got the best photography. It was me and Ariel. Shout out Ariel.
Shout out to Ariel.
Because I remember his. I was like, damn, there's another guy from West New York that's really, killing it. And then from there, it was just like I understood social media pretty early.
Right.
Yeah.
And from there, like as soon as Instagram came out, I was like, oh, an app for photographers, like this is fire.
That's where I really first started to really see your work.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true, but you had like a partnership with like Instagram or something. You did like something with Instagram, right?
Yeah, very early on. And it was like at that point, 2013, I'd already been shooting, weddings, birthdays, events, kind of like the photographer timeline. And I was working with AR and Goodfella.
Shout out to AR, Goodfella Media.
And I was doing a lot of music stuff, and I used like my photography to get into like shows and music, which is something that I'm like super passionate about. And by that time, 2013, I was already like, man, I'm tired of carrying all this gear around. Like I'm tired of having all this heavy backpack.
Right.
And Instagram was just this like, oh yeah, you can just shoot photos with your phone and upload them.
Right.
I was
With
like,
the
oh.
filters.
One-stop
and
shop.
shit.
With the
Yeah,
filter,
yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like, oh, this makes sense. And so I downloaded pretty early, and I started just sharing my street photography, which at that point, not a lot of people were doing street photography.
A lot of people weren't doing it.
Right.
And from there, I started like, my feed started growing, my account started growing, and I saw that someone hosted a photo meetup, and I was like, and they called it an Insta Meet. And I'm like, what is this? And I checked the hashtag, and I was like, a photographer's hanging out. And up until that point, I only knew like a handful of photographers, So I went to one. I remember I called up VNL. I don't know if you guys know him.
Yeah, VNL. Shout out to VNL.
Yeah, shout out V. And I was like, bro, come meet to this thing. I'm like, I think other photographers gonna be there. And we go, and it was like the penthouse of a hotel in Times Square.
Nice.
And it was like open bar, free food, insane view. And I was like,
Fire.
is this what we're doing right now? Like, guys getting invited? I was like, this is dope.
Right.
And I met a lot of really cool photographers. And from there, I kind of just like was always on the lookout for like, oh, when's the next meetup happening? When's the next meetup happening?
Right.
And there was one time that Instagram was hosting this worldwide Insta Meet weekend where they would encourage people to like meet up and hang out with photographers, and no one was hosting a meetup in New York. And I was like, what's up? Like, how is no one hosting a meetup here?
Out here.
In the Mecca.
And I found this like photography account at the time called Instagram NYC. And they were like, well, if you want to take over the account, we'll give it to you. We have a lot of followers at the time. They had like 20K followers or something.
Yeah.
And that was big.
That was huge.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That's still good. I'll tell you
2013.
what,
I had like 2 or something, right? And I partnered with 2 other people to host this meetup. And I was like, I scouted. I was like, let's do it in Dumbo.
Right.
And we set it for like a Saturday, and I go, and we had like 100 people show up, and I was like,
nice.
oh
Shit.
like this is crazy. I was like,
Right.
what?
This could be something.
100 people.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
took this photo, a group photo, everyone spelling out NYC. And then on the Monday, Instagram would feature the best photos from all over the world. And they featured my photo
Nice.
on the Instagram feed.
Fire.
And that was like a life-changing moment because, obviously I got a lot of followers. They featured the Instagram NYC account. But more importantly, a couple weeks later, the community lead on Instagram, which Instagram at the time was like 5 employees, 6 employees or something like that.
Yeah.
Insane.
So in the beginning-
pre-Facebook
right.
acquisition.
Really
Yeah,
at the
sold
beginning.
for like $6 billion or something like that. Or I
And,
forgot how much it
and
was.
they hit me up and they're like, hey, we like what you're doing in New York, all this community building. Like, we want to meet up with you. We're going to be in New York. And I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Say less.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I met up with the community lead. And then from there, I kind of just like started this relationship with the Instagram team
Nice.
back then. And from there, it was like getting a lot of invites to Instagram events and just being a part of like that core Instagram community of photographers who like really laid out the foundation for the app really early on.
Because you guys really understood their vision of what Instagram is supposed to be.
Yeah,
You guys
yeah.
took it to another level.
Right.
Yeah,
you know?
and then those meetups, like, man, we were doing meetups like all over the world. Like, people, it became like a huge thing, these photography meetups. And then that's how Instagram really, the first leg of growth that eventually led it to get acquired was like kind of on the legs of a lot of the photography community.
Yeah.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Shout out to you, man. You heard him? He helped make Instagram what it is. The
OG.
You should be thanking him, guys. But you watching this right now, Instagram. You should
Instagram,
be
we're
thanking
gonna-
him.
are we gonna tag Instagram on this
Yeah,
clip?
would not be that. Well, I would say Instagram wouldn't be nothing without Jose, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
I wouldn't say all that, but,
Yeah.
but it was like a very special community. And a lot of these people are still my friends today. And we look back at these times like super fondly because it was like super special to meet so many people from all over the world. And now that I've traveled a bunch, I hear it over and over again. I have a friend, his name is Steve Sweatpants.
I was just about to bring him up. I
Shout-
swear to my life.
shout out
I swear to my
Steve.
life. Steve Sweatpants.
And-
Steve Sweatpants. Shout out to Steve.
Steve and I met maybe 2014, and we were like a bunch of hungry photographers, and we were like, man, like we'd love to have our stuff published, like print,
Yeah.
And then he was like, let's just do it. Let's just start a magazine. And he started a magazine called Street Dreams Magazine.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I know
And we started like just getting all of the homies' photos and publishing them.
Yeah.
And it became this like legendary community where like, the second party got shut down by the cops because it was so crazy. Like I remember like
That's always a good thing.
Jaden Smith came to like one of the parties randomly and it
Yeah.
became this like insane lore. And it was just a way for us to like publish, photos from friends and
Right.
people that deserve to be seen. And it's grown to this like worldwide movement. He has like a gallery in Japan now. We've
Fire,
worked with like
man.
all these crazy brands. And, it's just like the name, even just Street Dreams, right?
Yeah.
It's like a lot of people from communities like ours that don't get any representation. And now it's grown to this like giant, conglomerate of photographers worldwide. But anywhere I travel now, like people will tell me to this day, like, yo, what you guys had going in like Jersey and New York during that era, like inspired us because you were like just
That's crazy. Man.
So
we
look,
didn't see photographers getting together like that.
Right, you
and,
really in the
like,
forefront of a lot of
helping
things.
each other.
Yeah.
for all your people out there, right, that do photography, your OGs, OG is him. Remember that. All right? Remember that.
No, but so it seems it's beautiful because it seems like you were in the forefront of a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you were able to
He jumped ahead of
start
a lot,
everything
yeah.
off. One question I have for you is where's like the wildest place that your photography has taken you? Where you know you're doing taking pictures, you like had a second like wow, look
like,
where I'm
like you
here.
had to really go
This
like
is where I'm
separate
at.
yourself
Yeah.
and be like, yo, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
like
is
look where I'm at
happening
right now.
Man, I've had so many moments
I
like
could
that I'm grateful for.
Right.
I mean, like one of the first ones, and I guess I'll go by time because early on, I feel like the ones early on were like, what is happening?
right,
Like
right.
one of the earliest ones, I think like 2014 or 15, I got to go to the White House and meet Pete Souza, who was like the photographer for Obama.
Wow.
I didn't even know that.
Wow.
I get this like
Fire.
tour
Yeah.
of the White House, meet Pete Souza, who's like an incredible photographer.
Yeah.
Incredible photographer.
Jesus Christ.
And I was like, man, like I coming out, I was an illegal immigrant for here for a while and like getting and doing all this stuff. And I was like, now I'm at the White House because of photography. That was a crazy moment.
Yeah.
That same year, I got invited because we were doing these meetups. People would come to New York and they'll hit me up like, yo, can you host a meetup so I can meet the photographers that I've been following all this time? And I'd be like, yeah, sure, if I can do it. And I would host these like morning meetups. And this dude came through, he hit me up and I was like, yeah. So I hosted a meetup for him. He met like all of the people, that he's been following, hung out. Amazing. A few months later, he's like, yo, I started working for this telecommunications company. I pitched you to come teach a class here, and they said, yeah, well, come. And I was like, all right, cool.
That's dope.
Thanks for
That's
telling
dope.
me, but yeah, I'll do it.
I'll do it. He put
Yeah,
you
I'll
on.
do it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm like, where at?
I'll do
It
it.
was
Yeah.
in Kenya. And I was
Oh
like,
wow.
I was like, I was like, okay.
Kenya, it's crazy.
So went to Nairobi in Kenya. This was 2015. The 10 years just passed. And man, that was like one of the most mind-blowing things because, I hadn't traveled that much at that point. And I go to Kenya, like the motherland, Africa,
Right.
and like you feel it, right? And you're like
It's surreal.
driving. And I remember at the time, like they like had billboards of Obama,
yeah.
And I was like, it's crazy. And then I host this class and it's like, 100 people and they all know everything about my life.
Wow.
They're like, oh, yo, like I see you playing ping pong and you're hanging out. And I'm
That's
like,
so crazy, man.
I'm
That'd
like,
be
bro,
mind-blowing.
all these people like on the other side of the world know what, like, it was this like moment of like, whoa.
Yeah.
This is really
like
happening.
a worldwide connection. to
Yeah.
me. And those next few days, like they got all of the Kenyan photography community who were like some of incredible photographers out there. And they took me like rooftoping in Nairobi and like climbing these like crazy ladders and stuff like that. And then we went to one of the national parks over there, Hell's Gate. And they planned like this camping trip on the side of this mountain. And it was like, bro, it was like
I'm not
Lion
camping
King.
out in Africa. Man.
Yeah.
Lion King. I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
You
I
had
don't know.
to
That's
do it
crazy.
on the side of the mountain because of the mountain lions.
Right, to make sure
you can't do it on the plane.
Right.
And-
But it can't get to you. Sheesh.
Yeah, bro.
Somebody.
Were
You doing that book?
Hell
Yo,
no.
I tell these guys camping to like Delaware,
hated
bro,
that
and
shit.
they couldn't handle it.
I
bro.
hated that
Yo.
shit. Yo, it was the worst time of my life,
Bro, we
I
went
don't fuck
camping
with spiders,
with-
mosquitoes,
Yo, I
let
got-
alone lions, tigers,
Yo.
bears. Oh my!
We went camping. They had we had water, electricity, and we was like a Delaware River Gap. And this shit was, they
Horrible.
could. There was, it
We
was
had a
not-
bathroom and
Yeah,
shit.
it was not good, bro. It
was not good.
No way he was making it in Africa.
He was
But
not
go
making it
ahead.
out.
Man, that was crazy. We tried to do like night photography down in like the plains.
Oh,
How was the stars?
And we're insane, but we're there and I just heard this like insane sound and this like giant cackle. I'm like, what is that? They're like, nah, you good. I'm like, all right. And we were just setting up the camera and we hear it like get closer. And they're like, oh, we're not good. We got to go. And I'm like, yo, what
shit.
is that?
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
hyenas.
Oh.
And I was like, bro, this is like legit Lion King shit. Like, yo, here's
fuck going on?
and it's like, bro.
yeah.
Yo,
We had
watch.
to get in the car.
They would have took you to Kenya, right? It was like, all right, so I got this dope place we're gonna shoot, right?
pictures and
But
shit.
then again, we're gonna spend the night here.
Camping. With the hyenas. and
No
shit.
way.
Nah, I'm good.
What?
Yeah, you got balls for that, man. You got balls for that for sure.
That was epic. Another crazy place was I did this tourism trip in Guatemala.
Okay.
And we got to go to these like old ancient pyramids in one of the parks, and we were allowed to stay there past once the park closed at night to shoot the stars under these
Wow.
pyramids.
Nice.
Damn, you doing some Mr. B shit, yo? Before Mr. B shit.
Yo, facts, yo.
Word.
And man, it was like super mystical because you hear like the jungle sounds. You see like these like sparkling eyes, and we're like, "What is that?" Like, oh, it's probably like a jaguar. And you're
yeah.
like, oh,
Jesus.
you know, and we're
Yo,
like,
Yeah.
and they're saying too in Guatemala, some of those ruins and those things were built before anything else.
Right,
right.
Like
Yeah.
they're
Ancient-
saying that
ancient
it's way more ancient. It might be the first pyramids around there.
Wow.
Yeah, or ruins
ruins
and
and
shit like that.
It's crazy.
That's fire.
that was a crazy one. I mean, last year I got to go to the Czech Republic and study alchemy, which
Yeah,
is like
let's talk about that.
Tell us
ceremonial
about that.
magic.
Yeah. Okay.
Dope.
In these basements, that date back to like 1500s when like some of the world's top alchemists like John Dee, Edward Kelly, like legendary people in both like the science and ceremonial magic community, like they were practicing in these basements, and like I got to
You
go
were
and
actually
study
there.
To actually
because
be
I was
there.
documenting it and got to go to these like old castles and like seeing where magic was performed. It was like Harry Potter. I call it like Harry Potter.
That's what it felt like, right?
I
Yeah.
was studying like actual wizardry.
So yeah. No, continue.
And I mean, it was just like, again, one of those moments I was like just being there with those people. It was one of the first times that I was somewhere and I was like, oh, I am by far the dumbest person in this room. Because they were, I thought it was going to be like spiritual people, but no, they were like physicists, scientists, horticulturalists, like really smart people who just understood that there's all these kind of like old practices that civilizations like the Egyptians, the Greeks,
They
the
understood,
Sumerians
yeah.
that have been passed down from generations.
Right.
And it's just like teaches you about like the unity of the universe and how like willpower, frequencies, vibrational
Chakras.
theory, all that stuff and how it relates to our reality. And I was like, oh, this is like next level.
That's dope. Like,
Yeah.
I really believe in that.
Of course.
Like
Yeah.
I
It's
believe
energies everywhere,
the vibe,
everywhere.
the frequency.
That
all
shit's for real.
Like you could walk into the room and you feel the energy. Like this is not where it's at, or this is where it's
Or
at.
this
You know
is
what I'm
where it's
saying?
at.
Yeah,
You feel the
know,
love.
You could feel it.
I feel the energy right now.
Right. I feel the energy right now. It's good.
Coming off
It's
of
open.
him.
It's good. It's good love right now. Yeah, facts.
But for someone that was an introvert back in the days that didn't want to speak, look at how
Right.
he became here. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to open up and you had to host stuff and you had to go outside your element. You had to be uncomfortable, but it made you comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So that's amazing. Salute
Yeah.
to you, man.
Salute
Drop
to
a
you,
bomb for
man.
that,
For
man.
real,
Yeah,
for
drop
real,
a bomb for that. That's amazing, man. Well, I want to hear more about that.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Yeah.
The alchemy stuff?
Yeah.
I would love to hear all that shit.
Yeah, so it's interesting if anyone's not familiar with like Hermeticism or the seven Hermetic laws. It's all these principles that are passed down. That they say from the Egyptian times, from one of the gods Thoth, who later becomes Hermes Trismegistus in Greek times, and they're kind of like 7 principles that govern the universe. And it's like the universe is mental, all is mind. Everything is frequencies and vibration. The law of polarity, so everything has a positive and a negative. The law of gender, the law of causation, and there are these laws that once you read them, you're like, oh yeah, this has been passed down through in like different religions and different sciences.
Right.
And that's one thing that I've kind of like come to understand or believe, right? Because everyone has their own belief system and whatever you believe in.
Fine.
Yeah, it is what it is.
But in my opinion, what I've studied, and I studied in college, I studied philosophy and language arts and ancient and medieval civilizations. So like I actually
Have
major
done some
in this
research,
stuff.
right,
Yeah,
right.
like I've read all the religious texts.
Right.
Yeah.
And for me, like what I've come at now is that like all of the prophets and all of the religions are arriving at the same point, just in different ways. And everyone's just arriving at this level of consciousness that is of union with the universal mind. And once you like have that, connection or like the illusion of separation fades, right? That the fact that we're all this illusion that we're all separate. Like, no, we are all
One.
united.
United.
Together.
Right. And it's like what was the Big Bang? There was like one atom, everything was within that atom.
Right.
And then it exploded, and since then everything's been separating.
Right.
But
It was still that one.
we were all one at one point,
At one
right?
point,
Like quantum
It had to start somewhere.
Right,
yeah.
yeah, and like quantum entanglement says that like if two
We're
things
all,
were
yeah.
once one, whatever
We
you
will
do over
always be
here,
entangled. Yep.
everyone
Yep.
will feel,
Feel
it.
it
Somehow
there.
there's
Yep.
always
And we were all
combination.
one at some point,
Right.
right? And that's kind of like the
The gist.
gist of the alchemy. And once you can get rid of this illusion of separation, which in Hindi and Vedic philosophy is called Maya,
Okay.
then you kind of align your own frequencies to that of like the
The universe.
Christ consciousness or something like that. Something that you like practice.
Yeah.
Do you think,
That's
since we talk about like frequency and stuff like that, you think music has a major part of frequency? Like does
Everything.
the type of tempo and the type of sounds and the type of instruments?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Everything.
Every
And
frequency.
there's a lot of amazing studies. There's a Japanese scientist who did a study on cymatics and how you put your intention to water. Like he would talk to water and then he would
seen that.
photograph it. And if you speak to it with love and gratitude and you photograph the water, it has this like beautiful sacred geometry, crystalline
Yep.
shapes.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And if you're
That's fire.
like
Mean to
Y'all
it.
didn't get
you're
out
a
of
piece
this
of
shit.
shit, I
It's
hate you,
scattered, it's
then
not geometric,
scattered
yeah.
and it's not
I seen that.
geometric and it's
Oh,
like
that's fucking
the
fire.
ions aren't the same. And then even crazier, if you ignore it and you don't say anything and you like you don't acknowledge it, then that's almost even worse than speaking
Yeah.
bad to it.
Wow.
So it's crazy, like
That's crazy.
for growth is like ignoring something. It's even worse than
It's crazy.
speaking bad to it.
So
That's
like
right. Oh,
off of that,
that's
like
dope.
my
Yeah.
bad, like off
No,
of
no,
that, like
it's
my
dope.
daughter, right? She's 8 months. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my daughter Ellie.
Shout out
I
to
love
Ellie.
you, baby girl. Like she's at the age now where obviously she doesn't know what dancing is. She doesn't know what music is, but you play her music and she starts to wild out. She starts to
Yeah.
dance. Like how does someone know how to
True.
dance
I
and
know
how to
what you mean.
move
That's-
Right.
if
Yeah.
you never taught them how to dance and how to move and this is music?
Right. Gotta be the
That's
frequency.
just it's the
Energy.
frequency.
Just the energy.
It's
The energy. The
yeah.
energy.
Something crazy.
And like yeah, go
sorry to
ahead.
interrupt, but like the study of like cymatics is called, and it's when you get water and you put music underneath
Yeah,
it,
and it
then you
creates
picture, right?
Yep.
And like you can see it when you play certain frequencies, they make all these beautiful mandalas and sacred geometry. And the crazy thing is like when you play certain, songs or frequencies or sounds like the om, like all these like Hindi, Sanskrit, it makes these like beautiful mandalas. And then if you go to these temples, ancient temples,
All
the
those are there.
shapes that you see in the cymatics are in the temples.
temples.
Like the flower of
And it's
life and
like,
all that
yeah,
shit.
and it's like how they know. They don't have.
How you not gonna
microscopes.
believe that
fire, right?
shit?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
you feel me?
fire. That's
Like,
dope.
how you not? Like you seeing it there. Yeah.
And then at the same time, like we're made of mostly water, so
Right.
these frequencies that are
Our
emitting
energy.
through
That's the
us
same shit. Yeah.
are aligning.
bound for that.
Are aligning with
It's
our
true.
frequency. So man,
true.
music is like
It's so simple. That's such a simple thing. But
it's like being
not
in a
simple,
car.
you know what I'm saying? But like,
with the, and then you feeling that big ass subwoofer go through your body.
Yeah, because that's
You feel that shit. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
physical. You know what I'm saying? Like you're really feeling the
And you
air
don't
pressure
see,
from
and you,
that.
and you don't see it.
Of course, but there's also like certain tempos that align with the heartbeat and your natural
Yo, man,
rhythm
that's
of your
crazy.
body, the natural rhythm of your blood pumping, and it feels good, and you don't know why it does.
Right.
It's
that.
probably has something to do with
the
that.
music.
So shout out to Tupac.
Do you know? Shout out to Tupac. Yo, shout out to Tupac. All right, I'll take that.
It's California love. Shout out to Tupac.
What? Ice Cube.
Nah,
could affect anybody.
Nah, Tupac. Let's think about California love, man.
That's
What
funny.
about Terrence Howard? What do you feel about him?
He's a super interesting individual. I think he's on the right track with a lot of the stuff he says. At the same time, he does have a lot of like unsubstantiated claims on a lot of this stuff.
He does.
Okay.
But I think it's interesting. I feel like sometimes, right, it's like a rubber band, right? Like sometimes you got to go really far out of the
Before
of the
it- yeah,
norm,
yeah,
so
yeah.
that when the rubber band's back, you land at a reasonable.
Reasonable
Right,
spot.
right.
So
Right?
sometimes he's gonna outshoot it to see if he
Yeah.
can land closer to where. he
Yeah,
needs
but
to
a
be.
lot of the stuff that he's studying, I think it's interesting to just like pose those questions,
Right.
and
Yeah.
get people
Put it out
thinking
there, get
about
people
it,
to think
right?
about it,
and,
yeah.
and even if it's just like it creates all this discourse. I remember that Joe Rogan episode
Yeah,
that
yeah.
went
Yeah,
viral.
Fact.
And he had the
Right?
dude there debating
Yeah,
him, and he
yeah.
kind of looked bad a little bit.
Yeah, of course, because you have to always kind of like, and obviously there's some things that are not provable, but when you have a scientist, like, well, no, this is actually like,
How it works.
yeah,
Facts,
then
facts.
then you can't you can't go a
Facts.
certain way.
Facts.
But again, one of the things that I've realized is like, man, you really truly never know, right?
Never know.
Because you read of all these mystics, all over the world, whether it's like people in India or like Chinese masters, even Russians with ESP. And like I haven't seen it, but like there's all these claims of all these like supernatural abilities, and like I watch all these documentaries, and I'm like, man. And then when I went to the Czech Republic, and afterwards I went to Austria, like I saw some stuff that I was like, man, I can't explain. Like this is something that you have to be and
Yeah, to
feel
see
and
it.
see.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell people, and they're like, they don't
no way.
believe it.
They won't believe it.
It's like magic.
The way I look at it is the chances of us even being here as a sperm and like as being created as a child is so slim to none So why am I gonna put that like why would I put that past anything else? You know what I'm saying? It's like there's chances and the possibility of us being in the habitable zone is so slim to none too.
Right.
So you gotta anything could be possible.
Anything's possible.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anything's possible.
Listen,
You know I love this type of talk.
Yeah, I know.
I could go.
I do want to
the
get back
rest of the show,
as a photography though, real quick. One of the questions I have was you because your pictures are amazing, man. I look at them like I can't even fathom like
you have to bump into this guy.
Huh?
The one that we this guy.
Johnny
Yeah,
Nunez.
you have to
You know Johnny Nunez.
Bumped into him.
No,
He's like probably number one hip hop or music photographer like in the world. We had him on the podcast. So shout out to Johnny Nunez.
We're gonna show you his shit after.
But yeah, you know, to me those pictures are like beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like scenery. Where do you get that eye for like the photo? You know, to like how do you see something and know like this is the shot?
one,
This is
Real
the shot,
talk.
you know
I'll be
what I'm
out
saying?
at night. I'll be lit. I'll be trying to take a picture.
Me
and
too.
shit like
And it comes horrible. It's horrible. It's like it looked good to me.
Watch, you like,
And I
this
take
is the one,
picture,
right? This is the one.
I'm like, what happened? Like this is not what I saw when I was looking. Like how did you get that eye or what? Or like you know how do you know when a picture is just hit?
it.
You know
Is
what I'm
it.
saying? Yeah.
I mean, it's a long process. I wasn't like always, I look at my first photos from early on and I'm like, wow, these are terrible.
And those photos were still fire.
they're still fire, right? They probably
They
still
got him
good.
where he's at.
Nah, I promise. I see them like, oh man, what was I thinking? So one, it's a lot of practice for sure. I think two, and again, it's all subjective, right? But there are a few things that just optically as humans are pleasing to the eye.
Okay.
Right. So like this is something that like it took me a while, but I studied it. Like there's just certain things like symmetry is very
Real quick, in that before he gets more into that conversation,
out.
he was the first person to tell me. I don't know if you remember this when Instagram had the grids that you want to put the main focal point in the middle or wherever the case may be with the grids, and there needs to be symmetry. First person, but
I
go
was
ahead.
like, so symmetry is
Yeah, you
one,
got
and then
this
you have
back in the
people,
days.
and you have
Damn.
people like Wes Anderson, who's like, one of the world's best directors.
Okay.
You watch his movies, and that's his thing. It's symmetry.
Okay.
Right, and so when you see something in the world that's like symmetrical, there are certain times I'm like, all right, yeah, this is like a symmetrical thing. I know this is going to look good and appeasing to the eye. Okay. Right. There's other things that are like the Fibonacci sequence, which is something that I'm super obsessed with. Right, like the golden ratio, it's called. Right,
Okay.
and it's like this spirally thing.
Okay.
If you look back at art all throughout time, all the art that really resonates with people has this like golden ratio, right? Like the Mona Lisa, if you start from her eye and you go out, it forms this thing. Like the Last Supper, Da Vinci, all the greats had, this was one of the things.
Okay.
And it's one of those things that like once you understand it and you see it, you're like, oh, okay, I know how to compose this thing, right? And like for photography, there's a lot of things that make a good photo, right? It could be the action that you're capturing, right? And like, how do you convey movement? So if I'm doing like sports or music, I'm always trying to see like if it's someone that's moving, how do I convey this action? How do I convey this movement?
picture.
That's one, right? Two is lighting, right? Humans are just wired to understand lighting. So it's like, and again, it's one of those things that once you unlock it, like I know exactly how the light is falling anywhere. And I think the photography is just the art of observation.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's why I love it, because you're like, it's something that I can't turn off, right?
Right,
Like
right.
and anything that I see, I'm like, oh, well, I know how this would line up. This is how I would take this photo. If the light is falling this way, well, like if the light's coming this way, so I need to look that way.
Right.
Right. And third is composition. And the
point.
way you just like compose different scenes, and every, ways that you compose tell a story. Right. And I learned a lot of this through like watching a lot of films too. Right. And knowing that like if you shoot something from the bottom up, your subject is going to seem bigger than life.
Right.
Right. So if it's someone that I'm like, all right, I want to convey that this person is like a big character, I want to shoot him from the bottom up to make him seem bigger than life. If you want to convey that they're like, more with the crowd or part of this like larger scene, then you shoot them from the top
Further-
up.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right. Or from further back. Right. And wherever you place them, your depth of field, your focus. And it just comes from like, again, studying all this stuff, seeing photographers, like, you guys said that I'm an OG, but like I have
OG,
photographers that are like, legends, right? Like I was just, I wrote about this. There's all these photographers that shot for like, Nat Geo and Magnum photographers, and who are like super reputable, award-winning legends that I looked up to. And now, I'm part of like the Sony ambassador team.
Shout out
Once
to
a year,
Sony,
shout out
Sony,
to
man.
And
Looking
once
for
a
sponsors,
year,
we need a camera.
We need a camera. Holla at your boy, yeah.
and once a year they fly all their ambassadors to like this retreat, and it's like a 3-day photography camp, and it's just like all the coolest photography gear you can think of, sets. And at these
Yo,
things,
you got an extra one.
I see like you know like Ira Block and just these legends of photography, and I get to like spend time with them, and I'm like, man, this is what, you know, they laid the foundation, and you know, these are people that I've looked up to for years, and to now be even able to just like share ideas with them, it's like, man, it's crazy.
That's dope, man. You live it out your dreams,
Yo,
man.
I be
That's
seeing them
beautiful,
cameras.
bro.
Them cameras be looking like guns, yo. I swear, like this big ass shit, the
Rifles.
extra lights, rifles. With the, I'm like, yo. He's like, yeah, I could shoot this from 100 feet away and take a perfect shot. I'm like, yo, this is a sniper, yo.
Yeah, for real.
Yo, sniper,
Photography
yo.
is like very interesting and very like I don't know. I actually very interested in photography. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but
shit.
I didn't study and all that. I don't have the
Hold on.
eye. But like when I see a nice
that a
picture,
This is not a podcast.
it's exclusive.
first.
Wait a minute. Exclusive.
He wants to be a DJ, a photographer. What else?
I always wanted to be
coach?
a DJ.
A coach.
Yeah, but nah, but
don't wanna be-
because
go ahead.
you look at pictures and like I said, there's so many like nice pictures, man.
I understand
And
what
it's
you-
like you really, I really don't.
It's so interesting.
I can't do that. You know
Is
what
that
I'm
the
saying?
nigga be on flights?
I would have to study and shit. You know what I'm
Feel me?
saying?
That's why.
Yeah, you
It's
know
just practice.
Yeah.
It's just it's like once you unlock that idea of like, oh, let me just really capture moments.
Yeah.
Right. And I think everyone thinks now in the age we live in is like, oh, I'm going to capture it with the idea of like, I'm going to share it on social media.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, like, I don't think like that. Like, I just capture stuff to capture. Like, I always have my camera on me. I always say for life because, and that
Got
was
the
another
blicky
reason.
on deck.
Yeah.
Always.
Definitely. Yeah.
And I used to say like I have kind of like a bad short-term memory. Like I'm really good with long-term stuff, but photography is a way for me to just remember my own life. And I have a camera. If I'm always shooting, and it's because it reinforces the memory, right? Like if I'm here, I take a photo of this set here, right? Then I go home, I either browse through my phone and then I go edit the photo that reinforces the memory one more time.
Right.
I export the photo. That's like 4 times that I'm reinforcing the same.
So it
message.
helps it be long term.
Right.
Yeah, so it makes it so like I don't remember like what I ate for lunch yesterday unless I took a photo
Take a
of
picture of
it.
it.
But if I took a portrait of you, like I'll remember your face forever. Like I'll see people on the street, I'm like I've taken a photo of you, and be, oh yeah, like you should, at this festival
crazy,
or
yo.
something.
That's crazy, man.
You know?
And you know what's so dope about like photography and stuff like that is you would think, right? The average person, if you don't break it down, it's so subjective, but some people have their own style. You know what I'm saying? Like you would think how many, if you took 5 photographers to take a picture of this and it could be 5 different pictures.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Right,
so,
right. And they all
It's
could be
amazing.
They all could be fire.
All could
they
be
all
fire.
but they all come from a different point of view.
and yo, that's amazing.
yeah.
It's when you break it down and you really think about it, man.
Jose, also, JnSilva, my bad.
Jose's my name.
I also I know you was involved in like crypto for a little bit. I don't know if you want to get into that. And how that started, or what were your early investments and stuff like that? Like what's going on with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, for me, I was born in Venezuela, like I said, and inflation, hyperinflation is what destroyed our economy.
Right.
And that's one. And then 2, I've always been like a computer nerd. I've always just been super into technology. And I think that's like a constant thing in my life. It's just
Okay.
like I'm a first adopter of things. Like I'm
Yeah.
a person that like I see something that's interesting. And when everyone's like, no, I don't want change. I don't want, I'm like, I'll try this out.
Better
Why
see what's
not?
up
Right?
there.
Like,
First time I ever heard of NFT was I think through you.
yeah, yeah. And so that's what one thing that I regret, no regrets, but one thing that I'm like, damn, is like, you remember the Occupy Wall Street
Yes.
protest
Yes.
in like
Yeah,
2009, right around the financial downfall.
Yep.
I went to document it. So I went with Sil, and we have all these photos, Occupy Wall Street, and
Right.
people were like, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. And I was like, buy Bitcoin. I was like, what's that? And I kind of like looked it up, and I was on the message boards, and they're like, oh, this like programmable money. And I was like, oh, this looks interesting. But I was like, I was in debt and I was
Yeah.
broke. I was like, I don't have money to invest.
Can't buy some,
Right?
can't buy this shit.
Bro, literally like right as it dropped. Like this was like, I think within a few months.
Yeah, yeah.
You were right there.
And
right?
I was like, man, and I kind of just always heard it through like my techie friends. And I was just like, man, I'm like, I don't have money to invest. I'm in debt. Like,
Right,
what am I
right,
going to invest?
Right.
And I kind of just put it aside. And it wasn't until like 2017 that some friends really sat me down and explained it, like the technology, the idea. And it was very like cyberpunk, like anti-establishment,
Right,
which I've
yeah,
always
yeah,
been like,
right.
you know, like, and like the story of it is really cool. And I remember like V for Vendetta had come out, and I was like, oh, I'm like, oh, this is dope.
Shout out to V for Vendetta.
You know?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And once I understood it, I was like, oh, okay, this like makes sense.
Right.
And now this time I had a little more money. So I started playing around. I bought a little Bitcoin and a few other of the alts, as they call them, other cryptocurrencies that are not Bitcoin. And I remember like it all went crazy those first few months, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is the easiest
Is this shit
thing."
real?
Right. That's all I had to do.
This is over.
Bro,
That's all I
I
had
was
to
like,
do.
I'm gonna be rich. I'm like, Mom, we made it.
Yeah, facts.
That was 2017, and then 2018, and I was just holding it because I'm like, oh, it is up only.
Right.
And then 2018, everything just like crashed, and there was like
A lot of people got
huge,
got
you
scared.
know, and there was a lot of, and I started to understand like, you know, all of the media that is owned by all these corporations, they're
We're bashing
always talking bad about Bitcoin because, you know,
They
talk
couldn't
about the
control it.
banks,
Yeah,
They don't want it.
control
They
it.
don't want it. Yeah, they don't want it out there.
and I realized this. So like, while everyone at that point was like, oh yeah, crypto's a scam, like terrible.
I remember everybody
I just
saying
kept
that.
doing like research on it and learning, and I spent 2018 and 19 kind of just like learning about it. So 2020 came along, the pandemic, photography was doing really well, and then all of a sudden, everything, all my photography stuff stopped.
Right.
And I was like, damn. I was like, well, by now I know how to trade. Like I knew technical analysis. I knew how to trade on decentralized exchanges.
Right.
I had been learning. So, and I had been going to conferences and meeting cool people. Community is like a huge thing for me. So I just like, I know that if I meet people that are interested in the same things that I'm interested in, we can learn from each other. So I had all these group chats of like crypto people from all over the world. And as soon as everything shut down and the Fed said, we're going to print more money,
Right.
everyone was like, this is it. This
Right.
is the
It's the
use
chance,
case. Like
right.
they're printing all this money that's going to devalue the dollar, which means that all of
Everything's
these, you know,
Right.
and I was like, oh, and then I was home. So, I started just like, I saw Ethereum drop down to like $80, and when everyone was panicking, I'm like,
man.
I was like, oh, this is a great time, you know, whatever I
had
could.
Ethereum, man. Yeah.
And then at the same time, I started seeing this like conversation of NFTs come about, right? Like not non-fungible tokens. And to me, it just made perfect sense. Like you have the blockchain, this immutable ledger, and then you have art. And this is a way to immortalize this art and put a timestamp on it and then be able to trade it digitally anywhere in the world and have it be an even exchange. And I was like, oh, this is like my world's colliding.
Right,
this
right,
is
right.
like
Perfectly.
blockchain and
It's
this is
lining,
art.
yeah,
Right, it's lining up.
Yeah,
And
stars
it was
are
like-
aligning right there.
Yeah, and it was one of those things like, you know, right place, right time. And I understood the tech. And I remember this was like, you know, July, August of 2020. And I'm like on Instagram, like NFTs are going to be huge, like digital
remember.
art.
You was doing that like that 3D
Yeah,
shit
and people were
and the
like,
photos.
people were like, bro, you've lost it. Like, people were thinking I was crazy.
Right.
And it wasn't until I did my first sale, my first drop, which was like December of 2020, which was a collab drop, that, you know, we made a sizable amount of money.
Right.
And to show people, I was like, if you don't believe in NFTs, like this is what I made
Show
from
you right
one
now.
drop
Right.
in one day.
Yeah.
And that was like December 31st. And I remember from there on, it was like 6
was
months
going
of like
crazy.
my phone just would not stop ringing for artists being like,
How can I
Put me
get
down. Yeah, how I do this.
So I
Yeah.
spent, you know, I started an agency called Animus with a bunch of friends, and our purpose was just to like onboard artists because I saw this opportunity for artists to like make money. And I onboarded probably like thousands of artists to like the digital world of
Right.
finance and art. And yeah, 2021, 2022, you know, I started making digital arts of different kinds. I got into fractal art around the time, made a lot of fractal stuff, did my photography stuff, went and shot a documentary in Colombia, and we turned the photos from the documentary into an NFT project that then we used to pay for a short film.
Wow.
So I made a
Shit.
short film.
Yo, do me a favor.
Yo, you were so like you were so like you said,
Futuristic.
yeah, you know, like on the beginning of the next level of everything. But
Just do me
so
one
dope.
favor, right? So you don't gotta do me nothing ever else on earth, but your next group chat, just add me. in there. I just want to read shit. I just want to be a part of it.
That's what I read shit.
Yeah, I just want to read shit, man.
Yo, that's funny.
Not
I got you,
because
I got you.
all jokes aside, man. You've been like ahead of the curve every
Right.
single time, man.
Yeah, that's what I would say with the you know what you're telling us about you now. The one constant is always not being afraid to take the leap and seeing like, oh, this might be going on, and I'm just gonna take the leap, and it's paid. You know, I'm sure not every time it paid off, but it seems like for the most part it has been paid off. And a lot of people don't have the courage to take that leap because they're used to the norm, and it's like, I don't want to go that. I'm afraid to fail, whatever. You was not afraid to fail.
Yes.
You was ready to take those steps.
And
you know,
a lot of people are looking up to him to make that step to see what they want to do next
Right.
because they already know his track record.
his example.
Exactly.
Perfect. Well, I think It's a favorite time of the
Yeah,
show,
it is.
Jose. All right, it's the only segment of the show. Our favorite segment of the show because the only segment of the show.
Best one. If you
And
had
it-
best one,
it-
it's only
you know,
one.
man, can't be
That's
better.
our favorite one. That's our favorite one.
It's like, it's very crazy
It's
today.
Boogie's famous 5 questions, right? Boogie's gonna ask you 5 questions, just answer them to your best ability, and let's go.
Take
Question
control of the
question
board,
number
Watts.
1.
All right,
Where am I right here, Boog?
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
All right.
up.
Right? Yeah. All right. Question number 1.
What's your favorite camera and what movie they used it in that you love?
Ooh, favorite camera? I mean, so for me, I'm always gonna think kind of like photography.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like,
So my favorite camera right now would be the Sony A1 Mark II. Right.
They use that. They probably cool shit.
I mean, I'm sure they used it for some films. I mean, they've used it for a lot of like commercial spots that I've seen. But man, for me, that camera just like I could stay with
does
the
everything
camera
you
the
need.
rest of my life. Like it's an extension of me. Like when I have it, I'm like, bro, this is like whatever I think and I want to capture. This camera,
Yo,
Does it.
Sony be killing it.
yeah,
Killing the game. Shout out to Sony, man.
What was it called again? What was it called again?
The A1 Mark II.
A1 Mark
Mark
II.
II.
That's my baby.
All right. All right. Question number 2.
Tell me 3 most influential people in your life.
Ooh, that's a good
Ooh,
question.
That's
Yo.
an incredible one.
Ooh, I got a sidebar question. I hope I remember.
Okay, I'm gonna go Carl Sagan. Carl Sagan.
Who is that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a cosmologist who worked for NASA in the 70s.
You asked a question about NASA.
80s.
Okay.
And he kind of just like popularized space, like the idea of understanding space. And he
Oh, so I
made
like
a-
him too then.
He made a documentary series called Cosmos in the 80s, and you watch it, and man, he was just so ahead of his time with everything he predicted, everything he talked about. To this day, he passed away, I think in the 90s. But you read the stuff that he was talking about, and like
It's relevant right now,
today.
yeah. Nice.
And when I learned about him and I saw those series, it kind of just like, man, changed my life.
All right.
That's one. Number 2, I'll probably go with Alan Watts, who's a philosopher, kind of like a mystic. He also was from that era, like 60s, 70s, and he kind of brought a lot of Eastern philosophy over to the West. And he would just do these lectures where he was just like, man, dropping science and knowledge and all these like
Shout out to Alan Watts. You gotta be good. Last name Watts. Last name Watts.
shit.
Gotta be good.
Wow.
Yo, you might be related to him.
You might be his cousin, yo.
That is my cousin, bro. Keep it on the low, man. Come on.
Don't tell nobody.
Keep it on the low, man. Yeah.
You got one more. You got one more.
Yeah.
one more, man.
Inspiration.
Who am I gonna? Let's see. I could go so many different ways. Who am I gonna go? I'm gonna go with Khalil Gibran, who is a poet.
Let's go.
Okay.
A poet. He wrote.
Is there anything that we know, the masses would know, or
I don't know about the masses, but he wrote this book called The Prophet that I read over and over again. It's one of those like, I recommend everyone read this book. It's very short.
so? Tell the
Khalil
people right
Gibran-
now what it is.
Khalil Gibran, The Prophet.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a book that I always go back to, and again, it's just like a very beautifully written, poetic masterpiece that
go.
just like opened my mind to just a lot of different concepts and beauty. So
Nice.
those 3 I would say.
Perfect.
Well,
All right,
none,
all right.
none of those names are on my bingo card.
All right. Question number 3.
What's your favorite food
Ooh.
Oh,
that you can eat every day?
Oh, bro, I gotta go. Yo, shout out Caracas, shout out Venezuela, arepas.
Caracas.
Oh,
that's
Arepas, bro, the most versatile food in the world.
The cheese on top?
He's like a bust them shits down anytime, anywhere.
Cheese. I had 2 today. Cheese and egg,
Yo.
chicken, beef, whatever
So-
you want to put in
It's
there.
versatile, it's
Flour.
versatile.
Yeah, come
Facts.
on, man.
All right.
If you had, so this
Question
is
number 4.
If you had the, I'm gonna give you.
Question number 4?
Question number
All right,
4.
so you gotta say it. Question number 4.
So question number 4 is, you gotta put these cameras in order, from 1, 2, 3, right? He's gonna say,
I know.
But you gotta be. All right, you try Canon, Nikon, and if I'm saying it right, and Sony.
Oh, bro.
Sony number 1, obviously.
Sony,
So
yeah.
Sony wasn't in the way.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, Sony's number 1. Go ahead.
Obviously,
Sony's the best.
of course.
Sony's like 1 through 100.
So what you
Yeah.
think of?
And
Tell
then
us about
like
Canon.
101, I would put Canon, and then Nikon.
Nikon instead of
Canon colors are really great. Both are great. Nowadays, all cameras are great, honestly.
Yeah.
Also, you got to throw Leica in there because Leica's a legendary brand.
There you go.
Okay.
Leica's a legendary.
It's just, I just
brand
know
as well.
they talk about those
Yeah.
those cameras all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Leica's the only thing I remember from the movie Underworld. The werewolves. The Leica. All right, go ahead.
so
And also Fujifilm's
Fuji.
been making
Yeah, let's go. They're making a
Fuji, I
comeback.
forgot
Yeah,
about them, yo.
crazy comeback. Yeah, a lot of. But again, I have friends that use all of them, and they're amazing photographers. So I think it's like tools are important, but at the end
Sony's
of the
number
day-
1 to 100.
Sony's
Yeah.
number one. Don't forget. All right.
Yeah.
Send that over.
All right. Question number 5.
If you win $10 million tomorrow, what would you spend it on?
$10 million tomorrow, I'm buying a whole lot of Bitcoin and holding for a while.
Invest.
Yeah, I would invest a lot.
How much out of the 10 million would you throw in
The whole
Bitcoin?
10 million.
5.
Ooh, he's going half.
Okay.
Halfy?
Oof.
Easy 5, and then
Easy 5.
Put the rest, he's chilling.
Yeah, and then get real estate. Obviously, like help all my family with that.
Okay.
And then for me, I would probably just do a lot of travel, man.
Yeah, enjoy that
travel. There's
shit.
nothing
Yeah,
like
nothing like
experiencing traveling and opening up your world view. I think these past 2 years for me has been a lesson in like living simpler. And,
It humbles you, right?
And as you go simpler, you realize that experiences are really like everything.
It's currency.
That's
Yeah,
what
it's currency.
Yeah, so I would, and then I would still have a lot left over because I don't really need to be doing
Right, you expecting
anything
5
too
million.
crazy.
All right.
Well, hold on until that Bitcoin goes up. Then you just put an extra $2 million again.
He's like,
"Oh, $2
They like,
billion?
all right, let me get the penthouse.
Wake up, yo.
Buy a whole 10 years, and then we got a little bit more lavish.
I seen people like on live, whatever, like do stuff where they bet like 100,000 live, or they got 3-4 minutes and it wipes out completely.
Yeah. That's bad. That's
Like
bad
you see
business.
there,
But-
you see all
but-
their.
On
That's
what?
bad business.
I forgot. I think
Like
it's
betting like steak. And
nah, not
Oh,
even that.
leverage
Like
trading.
That
Leverage trading.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
trading
no.
lit live and
No, leverage trading
like,
is
that shit is scary. Like you can win big. I get it.
Yeah,
I seen it.
yeah.
And then you can be gone like in seconds, yo.
yeah
Gone.
Leverage trading
Gone.
is wild.
I got one question, right? I know we usually don't ask questions after this, but
Yeah.
I want to ask. I'm sorry,
I
man.
always want to do some shit.
Yeah, always.
Always. It's always me. I'm an asshole, right?
That's funny. I wanted to do some shit too, though. But
Hurry up, question. Hurry up, bro. Hurry up. Hurry up. Ayahuasca. Would you ever or have you ever?
I haven't, but I 100% would. And it wasn't until this year that they say that like it calls to you, and you like when you're ready.
You know when you're ready.
And I've always been like, nah, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And
If
I
they're
would say
calling,
this year-
you answering and saying yeah.
I'm answering.
Okay.
Where?
Okay.
Yeah.
My man.
All right. Well, that was Boogie's famous 5 plus 1. You know, where you know.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
I just wanted to get into some Joe Budden shit, but I guess we'll wait for the next podcast for
Yeah,
that one. I just
yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to shout out Joe.
Joe,
Shout out
yeah.
to
Joe
man.
Budden
Shout out,
podcast.
Say that's it. But go ahead, man. Boogie's famous 5 is
So
over.
we
You
already
already know what to
closed it
do,
up?
man. Go ahead, man.
Yo, now he don't want shout out?
Oh yeah, Jose. Before we go, anybody want to shout out anything you got going on right now that you want to promote or stuff like anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess just go on my Instagram. You see everything that I'm working on there. The movie project that we have going on is called Buscando America. It's in Colombia. Our short film is called Nea. Right now, we're nominated for the Macondo Awards in Colombia, which are like the Colombian Oscars
Fire.
for Best Fiction Short Film. So that's huge. Shout out Sony, because man, they've been like my best. It's
Sony.
a family. It's not even.
Sony.
Holla at us, man.
It's
It is a family. We're
It's a
family.
We've known them for years. Come on, man. We're in high school
family.
together. Let's go.
And man, all the people have been holding me down, man. I have a lot of friends and a lot of like, I'm very blessed to have like a really great
Yeah.
community of people that have been like around and even
Absolutely.
like y'all,
Yeah,
it's like,
thank
it's
you,
love.
man.
It's always
Appreciate it.
love.
Nah, definitely.
You know, so I'm like a lot of people are like, nah, I don't have friends. And I'm like, man, I've been just very
I got a lot.
lucky and blessed to know a lot of really amazing people in my life. So
Dope, man.
Shout
Well,
out to all
we
of them.
appreciate you coming through for sure, man.
You guys ready?
Yeah, let's go, bro.
Take it out.
Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Holly Boogs.
It's your boy Watts.
It's your boy Grizzly Green.
And this is not a podcast.
Shout
Let's
out
go.
to our guest, JnSilva.
Let's go. The legend.
This is not a podcast.
This is not a podcast.
This is not a podcast.